Jesus is the lion and the lamb.
Oh, like in Aslan from The Lion, the Lich, and the Wardrobe, yeah. Did I say Lion, the Lich, and the Wardrobe? That would be a much better story, I think. I think that'd be cooler. Anyone else think liches are cooler than witches? Like, there are some cool witches. I'm not hating or whatever. You know what I've never seen? A lich that's a woman. What the fuck is up with that? Why aren't there more women liches? You know what I mean? Blacketh? Okay, but Blacketh is so strong that she's basically a god. Like, there aren't many conventional like, Blacketh isn't a regular lich, you know? Aren't all liches witches? No, a witch is just a general term for, you know, well, it depends on the setting, I guess. Female magic user, right? But a lich, you store your soul in a phylactery. This is why liches can't be women. They'd be too powerful. Okay, follow-up question. If you're a lich or any other kind of, like, undead magic user, how easy do you think it should be to give yourself, like, the appearance of a living body? Because greater, like in D&D, greater mummies, liches, and all have you, they all look dead. I feel like you should be able to, like, past a point, you should be able to blend in perfectly. Like, you're really telling me you're a lich and you're, like, not able to just walk around normally? Like, vampires have to hide from the sun. You can just go out. The point is, once you're powerful enough, you can stop giving a fuck about how you look. Yeah, but have you ever talked to a lich, motherfucker? They're all so eager to prove how smart they are. I think they're lonely and bored. Well, I don't believe that. You go into the lich's lair, and they're like, wow, I've outsmarted you. I actually anticipated the past 17 moves you've made. And in actuality, like, mathematically, I've calculated. They're clearly bored. They should be in a big city, like, they should be like a city councilman, outwitting other people, and then, like, eating them at night or something. I don't know. Tell me where the liches are. Probably in, like, caves, right? I'm like, yeah, caves. Or, like, old fortresses? Like, big towers, you know? Tombs. Aren't liches trying to be gods? Not necessarily. They're just trying to become immortal by storing their soul in a phylactery. Or multiple phylacteries, depending on how cool they are. What's up? What's up, Kid Rock? What's up, guy who literally wrote a song about wanting to fuck children that no one remembers for some reason? A bit Davy Jonesy? Son of a bitch, you're right. Would that make the Black Pearl and its crew liches in the Curse of the Black Pearl, because their immortality is tied to keeping the coins on? Like, it's not literally their soul, but it's like their immortality is determined by, like, a physical object, and it's kind of like it a little bit, but their soul's still on their person. Is Voldemort a lich? Yeah. Like, definitionally, right? The Horcruxes are literally just phylacteries. Are we not allowed to hear it? Are you happy? Does this make you happy? Are you happy now? Oh, right. The nerd talk was better? That's what I thought. You're mixing up the Pirates of the Caribbean crew. Davy Jones was the squid guy from the... Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Barbossa. Yeah, sorry. Or Barbarossa. Yeah. No, it's Barbossa, not Barbarossa. But yeah. What happens if someone with the curse gets disintegrated? If you destroy a lich's body, they reappear around the phylactery within, like, a few days or a few weeks or something. When you're going after a lich, you have to go after the phylactery. And the difficulty with a lich is that the phylactery can be literally anywhere. I think it has to be on the same plane of existence. Like, they can't store it in the material plane of water or whatever. It has to be on the same plane. But you could kill them on one part of the world, and their phylactery is literally, like, on the other side of it. So, you know, just don't fight liches, I guess. So Lich Dragon Fortisax wasn't really a lich? No, I don't think so. I think it's just, like, a cool name. Would you become a lich if you could? Oh, so it depends on the setting, because in some settings, and I think this is good, by the way, being one of those types of creatures makes you evil. In Baldur's Gate 3, if, no spoilers, but if Astarion levels up at the end of his quest line, basically, you can tell in his personality, there's something innate about becoming what he becomes that makes you a dick. And it has nothing to do with willpower. It's literally like a change to your soul. And I like that, because it feels like otherwise it would be like, why aren't good guys becoming liches? You know what I mean? Like, why aren't there like good wizards that are like, actually, I want to defend the realms forever. I'm going to become a lich, and I'm just going to feed, like, evil souls into the phylactery to keep myself alive forever. And, like, I'll look scary, but I'll actually be the coolest dude. And it's like, well, no, clearly there's something about this source of power that corrupts your ass, because, like, you're not... I ain't met no good liches, you know? Some, I assume, are good people. You can accept that there's an evil cosmology to that, because liches are magical creatures. I think it's bullshit if a regular biological race of creatures are innately evil. That to me is stupid. Like, drow and orcs aren't evil because their biology makes them evil. They tend to act in evil ways because drow culture is insanely sadistic and orc culture is tribalistic and militaristic. But it's not like an innate thing. You could like raise an orc or a drow in regular conditions and they'd be like normal dudes, basically. Just like bigger or, I don't know, gayer. And that's fine. And then you have like mind flayers. And I don't think mind flayers are innately morally evil, but they literally prey on the brains of sentient creatures. So it feels like biologically they're kind of driven to be okay with killing humans or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that they're innately happy at killing lesser beings. It's just that we are literally their prey. But for something like a lich, like, that's a magical thing. Liches aren't like a race of people. They're like a magical bargain you make. You know what I mean? So if liches like just get corrupted over time, like, yeah, that makes sense to me, you know? What's your thoughts on D&D races not having innate traits that are like connected to their biology, like dwarves having stronger stomachs? Well, there's nothing wrong with having different races be different. They're different. They're not, okay, for one, they're not races. A race is a human-specific social construct that refers to the fact that we have a bunch of incredibly superficial, mostly skin tone differences because humans are spread all around the world. But we're all the same species. Like, humans can cross-racially produce with no, like, biological issues, which is not the case with different species. In D&D, they're species. Dwarves and humans, elves, whatever, they're different species, you know? So, like, yeah, sure, dwarves can have stronger stomachs. They're resistant to poison or whatever. Like, cool, whatever, that's fine. The problem is when you start arguing, like, well, actually, this like, species of creatures is evil, and by coincidence, their culture looks a lot like Mongolian culture or something, you know? Because, like, a lot of orcish culture, like the J.R.R. Tolkien or whatever, you know, or you're like, yeah, the Khajiits from Skyrim, you know, that talk this way, and they're like drug users, and they're renowned for being nomadic, and they're untrustworthy, and they like to steal, and it's, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, we get what you're doing here, okay? You've got like a cross between like Romani and Arabic influences here, and like, okay, we understand, you know? You just have to be able to like, you just have to know what you're doing, man. They've officially changed the term from races to species now. I mean, that makes sense. That's correct, you know? Have you watched Freerun? What are your thoughts about Demon, that series? I like demons in Freerun. They're not a race of creatures. They're literally like a magic thing that take the shape of people for predatory purposes. I like how they're characterized. Well, you can reproduce between them? Not necessarily. And a lot of the reproduction between different species in like D&D is done for gameplay contrivance. They're obviously different species. In real life, you probably wouldn't be able to crossbreed an orc and a human or elf or whatever, right? Like, they're pretty different. Same with like dwarves and like halflings? You kidding me? No, I don't think so. I think that's because people want to play as half races in D&D. I think that if in real life they would, you know, those would be like consequence-free cream pies is what I'm saying. No orc wife? No, you can have an orc wife. That's fine. Man, he's having fun up there, huh? We're just talking while we wait for the fucking people to get on up there, okay? I don't know, you can breed different dogs that look substantially different. Yeah. But like, humans look different. There are species of dogs that look different. They're still dogs and humans. Like, there are a lot of cosmetic difference there, but the underlying genetic code is very, very, very much the same, or like very similar. It's just a couple of superficial differences in some of the exterior stuff that you're trying to like alter for. You know what I mean? Whereas the difference between, like, biologically, the difference between a dwarf and a human should be enormous. Like, that's not just like a small set of you know, phenotypal differences or whatever. That's a massive fundamental, like, they're both mammals. Are you a human supremacist? Human supremacists, when you ask them to sympathize with human minorities. No! Your screen cut out? I know. I need to fix that. I don't know, D&D, do orcs, dwarves, and humans have a common ancestor? I don't think so. Aren't the races in D&D, like, created from gods a bajillion years ago? Like, the world goes back a long time, and it's a lot of them have, like, magical origin points, where, like, a god kind of patroned their species to begin with, like, or like created them from clay, and since then it kind of built out from there. So you could argue potentially that all the different races on Faerun are like, not only are they not interbreedable, but they're literally like not even, like, they might not even all be mammals in the way we think of. I mean, what about Dragonborn? Dragonborn aren't mammals. They're literally like dragonkin human things. Or lizard folk. Those are literally just bipedal lizards, you know? Dwarves lay eggs. Yeah, why not? Why are they all so similar then? Probably for gameplay purposes. I mean, you know. are Gith mammals? Aren't they literally from a star or something? The Githyanki are from like a wandering, or they're not from it, but they're like they were slaves taken by the yeah, they lay eggs, you know. Donkeys and horses can have babies. Yeah, but can those babies then have babies? There are problems with mules, aren't there? Like donkeys and horses can produce one round of generation, but then the mules are themselves infertile, I think, or like there are problems. They're sterile. Yeah, 99% sterile. Yeah. So they're like horses and donkeys can reproduce once. Same with ligers. Yeah. A D&D guide for interspecies relationships that produce children. This can't be official. Humans and bugbear? No. No! Humans and dwarves? No. No! The fiend can fucking breed with everyone, man. That's crazy. And the nymph? That makes sense, I guess. Whatever. What about goblins? They were on the chart. I think nymph literally means sex. Aren't nymphs in D&D the little, like, forest spriteling things? You have to assume that fae can breed with basically anything because they're fae, right? Gith were created by mind flayers? Okay, yeah, then they would have, like, no evolutionary similarities to us at all, I assume. Nymphs are the water, the fae water things, yeah. Like, they're like dryads, but for water. Rather than for the forest. How would you categorize tieflings? Aren't tieflings humans that have been exposed to hellish magic over a long period of time? They're basically like what the Genasi are, except those are for the elemental planes rather than for hell. Like tieflings are descendant of like hell adjacent humans. Any species, I guess. I was skeptical of your take, but apparently orcs are different, literally from a different planet than Tyrell. Just like in World of Warcraft. They can be any mortal race. That's the reason why they made the guy a tiefling super quick in D&D, in Baldur's Gate 3, remember? Will like fucked up on a bargain with his patron, and in an instant he was made into a tiefling, because it's literally just like the hell switch being flipped on you. I'm not listening to this shit, dude. I don't care if we're just sitting here rambling, man. I'm gonna be on stream like fucking 8 hours a day for weeks or months. I don't know. In the Trump administration, like if I can just yammer while we're waiting for the people who aren't Kid Rock to get up on stage, I'll take that opportunity. He wasn't made into a tiefling. He was cursed with devilish features. Well, isn't that what a tiefling is? Was he not a tiefling? Wasn't he a devil, not a tiefling? Oh, okay. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay. Do I need to play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 before playing 3? No. And 3 is a lot better than 1 and 2, in my opinion. Old heads might disagree, but yeah. Elves were created by gods, dwarves were created by gods, humans were created by a dead god, orcs came from another world. Miracle, they all look pretty much the same with regards to, like, you know, the mammalian template. Are you genuinely worried about the next 4 years? Yeah, obviously. What do you think, this is all like a fun? I mean, yeah, it's real life. Wasn't it kind of weird the one black character was turned into a devil? That's not the one black character. Is it? Wait. Is it the one black party member? Huh. Karlak is a tiefling. He also has the least amount of content. I don't really like him. Minthara is dark blue. Minthara is not black. She's a fucking drow. She doesn't look even remotely black. Withers is black. That's true. Is D&D hard to get into? For 5e, not really. Apparently they're coming out with D&D 1, which is like the next big update, I guess, that they're working on. A lot of people... The main issue with D&D is that, like, 80% of people playing big tabletop games are playing D&D 5e, and it's a problem because D&D 5e is not that good at a lot of what it does. The problem is D&D 5e is too big. If you want to play, like, a campaign that's based around mystery and investigation, there's a million games out there that are better than D&D 5e, but people default to D&D 5e because that's, like, the thing they're familiar with, you know? It's like that with a million different, you know, and there are issues with the rules and such. What about warlocks? Well, warlocks aren't like witches or liches. Warlocks are creatures that have made like a pact with a greater power to lend them power. It doesn't even have to be a hellish power, right? Like one of the main sub-branches of warlock is Pact of the Fae. Like you are in contact with an archfey. There's some like coquettish homosexual in the Feywild that's like, sure, I'll give you some power. Warlocks can literally make pacts with angels, yeah. Or celestials, I guess, would be the... They are really letting this guy play it out, huh? What's the difference between a warlock and a paladin? Good question. A warlock makes a direct and personal bargain with a patron to lend them power. And the power they have is contingent upon the continuation of the contract that is made. Whereas a paladin is faithful to a deity, and as a consequence of the faith and the pact that comes with it, or not pact, I should say, but the vow that comes with it, power is bestowed to the paladin. So there are a lot of similarities, but there's like a practical difference in the way a paladin need not ever directly commune with that which gives them power, right? Like it's just like you believe very strongly in like your conviction. It's belief and faith that power you, not like cynical bargain making. As a paladin, you can't be like, I'm kind of 50-50 on this, but I'll do X if you give me power, right? That's the warlock bit. Paladins aren't faithful to a deity. That's a cleric. Paladins follow an oath and gain power for said belief in the oath's purpose. Yeah, but it still comes from a god. Like functionally, paladins still. I guess there's some truth to that. It kind of varies. The real question is, what's the difference between a cleric and a warlock? Well, a cleric just worships. That's different from making a contract. Paladins no longer need a deity as of 5th edition. All right. Is lawful good just lib shit? Lawful good isn't a real thing anymore, and liberals aren't good. Lawful good is a meme. You can say a lot of unkind things about players, but genuinely, like, I think that if you go into a setting thinking about what your moral alignment is, rather than just thinking what your motivations are, you're kind of cooked from the beginning. Like, I want to make a good person. I want to make an evil person. Well, what are your motivations? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're just out there like, how do I do the most evil thing today? What the fuck are you talking about? You know? And the characterization of lawful good being like everyone's a goody two-shoes, like that was always dumb, okay? Obviously, like lawful good probably encompasses a significant portion of, like, in general disposition of most people, you know? There's a lot of flexibility there. You think they're just going to let him play it out for like 50 more minutes? People will spend so much time making a character and then not play them as characters. That is so fucking true. That is insanely true. Yeah. Spend like 50 minutes typing up a backstory, and then they won't even like do anything with it. You can really tell he wrote a song about wanting to have sex with a teenage girl. He did, and it was in Osmosis Jones, the children's movie. That's true, isn't it? I think that's true.